Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am WillStalker25 and today I got a brand new action figure review for you guys on the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Retro Collection Rhino. This guy is awesome. I'm super excited and happy to finally have a Rhino in my collection. I unfortunately never got the Build-A-Figure from back in was it 2015, 16, 17 now? I don't remember the exact year. It's probably 15 or 16. I just really wasn't collecting Legends at the time. Didn't really see a lot of those figures around me. I got a couple. I have like the torso and like the two arms, but I never got the legs or the head for them. So kind of disappointing. Was always a bummer that I never had them. My only other Rhino was like a Spider-Man Sinister 6 Rhino from a long time ago, like the Toy Biz. Like it was like a 7 figure pack or something like that. So I've only ever had like maybe 3 Rhinos, because then I had like 2 Spider-Man classics, like Ultimate Rhino and then like the animated series look for Rhino. But yeah, I've been missing a Rhino in my collection. So I'm super happy to get this guy. This guy is awesome. I wish he had a little bit more in the articulation department, but other than that, he's a phenomenal figure. The sculpt is amazing on him. The paintwork is awesome. Like, I love this figure. Now, because I don't have the other Rhino, I don't have a solid comparison, and the arms and chest are in storage, so I don't know exactly where they're at right now, just because there's no point having an uncompleted Build-A-Figure just sitting out taking up space. So I don't have that all at hand to compare to this guy, but I do have some other figures, like sized comparison-wise, to compare next to, everything like that, like as always. But just look at the phenomenal sculpt on this guy. And I also do want to apologize. I think in my Spartan Election Kelly review, my camera was very out of focus in a lot of like different bits throughout the video. I'll try to keep it more in focus this time for Rhino. But yeah, so Rhino though, sculpt work is awesome. Let me get a closer look at the head here. The face sculpt is just phenomenal here, as you could see. Really nice face sculpt. We have 2 alternate heads as well, so you do get the more like serious, you get the serious like grinning, like angry face, like he's charging. Then this is just like a very standard, like kind of scowling face or whatever. Nice painted, or nice printed extra detail in there on the eyes, but yeah, very nice. Then we got the awesome paintwork, like the dark shading and everything, the cracks showing like rhino hide going through his whole thing, the little like warts and bumps on him and stuff like that. This is just an awesome sculpted figure. So we're gonna leave him back there really quick. A few extra things that you do get the figure, like I said, you get the extra head, you get the scowling one, and then you get the like grinning one. I wish we had a screaming head too, like the Build-A-Figure came with before. I was assumed the Build-A-Figure heads are bigger than this Rhino. I think that Build-A-Figure Rhino is just a hair bigger, if I had to guess. So I'm sure those parts don't work with him. Like I bet, yeah, you can't pull the arms off here probably. But then you do get an extra set of hands. You get an open set, and then you get a fist set on him. That's on him. I don't really like the peg. It's very small. I wish that was a little bit longer or whatever, just because I feel like it might maybe pop off easily. I'm not sure, because I haven't really tried removing the hands at all. But, you know, we'll see later. So, articulation-wise on Rhino, the head can look up that much. He can look down that much. You can turn it, but you don't really get like a ton of range. You get like 2 clicks, or like 1 click to the right, back to the middle, click to the left. So he's a little limited on how far he could look, but you'd figure he doesn't have the best movement with this suit hide. I don't know. I always thought this was supposed to be a suit. I'm not sure. But yeah, the horn actually is a little pointy up there. No tilt at all, and then the shoulders only get up that far. A little bit of a bummer. Wish it could get up a little bit more. So it's kind of a shame. You could do a full 360 with the arms. No butterflies. I think Rhino could have used butterflies personally, just to get him in a better charging poses, but whatever. Single jointed elbow only gets you up that much. Maybe could have used double joint. I don't know. Single's probably fine. And then the wrist all do swivel and hinge. All the hinges on the wrist are verticals. And then let's do a quick hand pop off just to do a double check to see. That's not that bad. Okay, so I don't think it'll pop off super easily if you're playing around with them. And then you do have the upper bicep joint as well. Ab crunch only goes back that far, so it's basically his straight standing pose. Wish it could do a little bit more. I don't know, something's holding it up in there. But yeah, no more for the ab crunch back. Forward, you could go a little bit. It's like, let's see, 1, 2, it's like 2 clicks. So down that much, you could get them kind of in a charging pose. You do have the waist cut. You could do a full 360 there as well. I kind of almost wish he had a diaphragm. I don't know if the diaphragm, if like he had a diaphragm crunch or something like that instead, kind of like the Spider-Man here. Like if he had this setup, like diaphragm and crunch, if that would work better on Rhino, maybe. Legs do go up that far. You can't really get back at all, unfortunately. Do get the upper thigh cut. Don't know if this is the same leg style as before for the previous Rhino, so I don't know if that could like pop off there. Single jointed knees, you could get almost 90. And then the ankles do go back that far, forward that much, and then you do get the wonderful ankle pivot. And by the way, the Rhino feet there are very well detailed as well. The nails, even on the hands, he has painted nails all right there, so that's a nice little added detail for those. You don't really get them on the fist, but because you can't see the nails, you can only see the thumb there. So yeah, but yeah, that's it for Rhino. Very basic articulation. I wish he had a little bit more advanced articulation there, like diaphragm and maybe the crunch down here, or maybe diaphragm and just that. I don't know what would get him better posing. I wish the ankles had I wish Rhino had a toe joint, I think, just to get him in those better running poses. Because like if you think of Rhino running, you're going to want him like down in the crunched pose, and you're going to want one foot back like that, and you can't really get him in a good pose like that. So I feel like he would have, I think one bonus thing that Rhino could have had would have been like maybe the diaphragm, something to get him a little bit more in the downward pose for running and charging. Butterflies I think would have been greatly appreciated, and definitely a toe joint here. I do know Marvel Legends are kind of experimenting with the toe joint here and there, like I know with that Spider-Man and Spinneret 2-pack coming out, we're supposed to be getting toe joints on the Spider-Man, and then we're supposed to be getting toe joints somewhere else. So this Rhino to the top of the horn is 8.5 inches tall. Size comparison wise, geez, I can't talk today. It is 2 in the morning though. So we have the Fortnite scientist from the Jazzwares, or not Jazzwares, the Hasbro Victory Royale series. We got a Jejo classified Snake Eyes, our Star Wars Black Series Captain Rex, and our Power Ranger Lightning Collection Dino Thunder Red Ranger. So there's a look at Rhino next to all the other like Hasbro lines, and then we'll take a look at them next to some of our other stuff that we always got. Really quick, we'll pull out the Jazzware Spartan Collection, I think Series 4 Master Chief. Then we'll pull out our 1000 Toys Master Chief, SH Figuarts Goku, Figma Samus, and then we got our Mezco Stealth Iron Man. So there you go. There's Rhino next to everybody. He's towering over everyone, as he should. I don't know Rhino's proper height in the comics off the top of my head, so I can't really tell you how tall he should be, but I would imagine Rhino is like about probably like 8 foot, 9 foot tall, probably. He should be huge, because I think Rhino is supposed to be a big dude anyways, but then he's genetically modified, right? Am I wrong? I'm a little rusty on my Rhino lore. There's the Mafex Batman, the Jazzware, uh, Fortnite the Visitor, and then we'll pull out another big guy. Here is a McFarlane 7-inch Space Marine. So there you go. There's a look at him next to all the other lines that I have. We'll take a quick look next to him, next to some Marvel Legends really quick. Um, let's see. First up, we gotta compare him next to a Spider-Man. I'm not gonna get out the normal retro Spider-Man because I have that in a cool pose and I like it. And Symbiote is the new Spider-Man for the reviews. So there's your normal Peter Parker comic Spider-Man. Here is your video game Miles Morales as well. I'm going to use the cloak one here because I have the other one currently in a pose in the same figure anyways. So, yeah, there's those two. Pretty good height comparison wise next to the both of them. I think Rhino is fought in the Miles game. So there's a look at those. And then really quick, next to some other Spider-Man villains, here Rhino is next to the Sandman Retro Collection figure and Shocker as well for another Retro Collection size comparison. So there you go. Pretty good. I mean, I think next to everybody, this Rhino is going to look fantastic. I just didn't want to pull Doc Ock or Electro or Goblin down or anyone else like that. So those are the two that I still had down because I'd meant to review Sandman but never did. If you do want to see that, let me know. And then another big fig that we got here. Here is the Wolverine 2-pack Hulk, the comic book one. So there's a look at Hulk next to Rhino. So Hulk does tower over Rhino by just a hair, but I think that's a good size comparison. And then last but not least, here's a comparison next to the Rhino that I did have in my collection that this one is replacing, and this is an old Toy Biz Rhino from the, oh god, I think it's like the Sinister Six or Fearsome Foes multi-pack with like, I think like basically like the Sinister Six, Black Cat, and the Spider-Man maybe. I think that might have been this pack. I can't remember. It's been so long. But this guy had articulated fingers. He had a diaphragm joint that didn't really do anything. You couldn't go side to side with it. He did have the swivel here. He had the toe joint, so you could get him into like kind of running poses. Double jointed knees, which this one only has single jointed, and single jointed elbows here. But as you can see, the horn on this one was bent. The face sculpt on that one was kind of rough. So this is what's literally been my Rhino stand-in since like mid-2000s. Like probably close to like almost 20 years that this Rhino has been in my collection, just being the main Rhino. So it's gonna be a good day to finally retire this guy, put him to rest into the bin, and have this new Rhino be our new Rhino on the shelf. So for the price point of about, I think, what is it, like $39.99. I did get mine from Amazon. I do think it is Rhino is in stock in Big Bad Toy Store and all the other places, possibly for like pre-order still if he's not shipping yet. You do get the set of hands, you get the head. I think this is a nice upgrade. If you don't have a Rhino, this is a fantastic addition to the collection. $40 is a little rough. I almost would have wished he was 30, but he's a big boy, so I think 40 is almost justified, especially if you're missing Rhino. I think Rhino is a very core Spider-Man villain. I wish we would get him developed more in something, like a movie. That would have been nice. Not the mech suit. Give us this Rhino. Something like that. I've always liked Rhino as a character. I've always loved the Rhino animal. So, yeah. I think for $40, he's worth it. If you can get him on a sale, I say go for it. Definitely gonna need to get that then, because this is your classic Rhino, and who knows if or when we'll ever get this again. So, Hasbro, all I can say is fantastic job, awesome figure. Now, one thing I would ask for, can you give us like an ultimate Rhino? I think that would be pretty cool, like the metal version with the spikes and stuff like that. You got a pretty nice base here that you probably just modify a little bit. But yeah, that's really all I could want for after that. But yeah, this is an awesome figure. I highly recommend it. So if you don't have them, go out and get them. So that's going to do it for me today. Hopefully you found this review helpful. If you did, would always appreciate a like and subscribe. If you're new and haven't done so already, do greatly appreciate it. Does help out the channel a lot. Yeah, yet again, hopefully this video is better. Hopefully there is more not as blurry footage. I did try to fix that up because I didn't realize it. Sometimes when I do the reviews, I forget and I look over the phone camera instead of through the phone screen to see how the quality is, if it's blurry, because you know when I bring things up close it's gonna blur it like there and it gets out of focus, so I gotta keep the focus in one proper spot. So I do apologize. I'll try to figure that out, and I'll try to make sure the videos don't have frame problems. I heard there were some frame problems in one of the last videos, so I'll see if I can fix that in the rendering process. But that's gonna do it for me today. This should be your Tuesday release, which is the 28th. So we're gonna have another video on the 30th. That will probably be the Marvel Legends Target exclusive Ragnarok. So if you do want to see my thoughts and opinions on that, stay tuned for that. And then next week we'll have some various stuff. I'm gonna start hitting some backlog things that have been piling up for a while. So, all right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.